Welcome back. You are following me at Invictus Forum. Press the like button, subscribe, share the link to other students, and leave us a comment to tell us what you think about what we are doing. We are going to talk about suspense. Suspense is a stylistic device that creates anxiety for the reader to know what will happen next, pertaining to a particular event or an action that's taking place. There must be a connection. We can therefore say that there's a riot outside the presidential palace when His Excellency is having a cabinet meeting. And from the questions that he asks from the cabinet members concerned, none of them seem to have an idea. And he concludes that they are all irresponsible and unreliable. We wonder whom these people are. What is the reason for the rioting in front of the presidential palace? Who are they and where are they coming from? This excitement makes us to find out and know that it is the delegation of 6 elders who have come from Abazon to meet the king, the son, the one who holds the yam and the knife, in order to say that they are sorry. And the reason is because Abazon is experiencing the worst drought in its history. Every place is dry. There's the absence of the precious liquid. The president has ordered for the digging of boreholes, which would have provided water for the people to be stopped. And the reason being is that His Excellency wants to punish the people of Abazon for refusing to vote in favor of his live presidential bid in the referendum. It should be noted that Abazon is the only region in Kangan that refuses to vote for His Excellency. They have come and they have made a journey of survival, knowing that if nothing is done, it means the people of Abazon will perish. His Excellency, therefore, wants to punish these people politically. The difficulty that the people are having with the drought highlights misery. Even when they come, they expect that they will be received by His Excellency. But His Excellency refuses to receive them because, according to him, receiving them will encourage other groups to do so. And so he delegates Professor Okong to receive them on his behalf with the pretext that he is on an important phone call. Nevertheless, he tells Professor Okong to give them the impression that he will listen to everything that they are demanding. And if there is a petition, he should receive it on his behalf, highlighting hypocrisy. We know that the president, His Excellency, is not willing to give any help to the people of Abazon, as shown in his attitude at the cabinet meeting, where the meeting is brought to an abrupt end because Chris mentions about the cancellation of His Excellency's visit to Abazon as it had been previously announced. Secondly, there is a cabinet meeting which ends in a fiasco because it starts with an argument. Chris wants to know, what has Abazon actually done to deserve such wrath from His Excellency? Immediately, Chris mentions Abazon. His Excellency loses it. And Chris makes us to understand that His Excellency's behavior, as of now, is unpredictable. He changes with the time of the day and depending on his mood. This highlights oppression. This highlights tyranny. It portrays His Excellency as being dictatorial. He does not just act dictatorial to the masses. Even to his cabinet members and close collaborators fear him like they fear a plague. The Commissioner of Education trembles, even lets his file to fall, scattering its content because of the tense atmosphere in the cabinet meeting hall. Chris is the only one who can speak face to face with His Excellency. Maybe because they had been classmates at Lord Lugard College. Next, Beatrice is invited by His Excellency, and she thinks that the party will be at the presidential palace. She also believes that this will be an opportunity for her to be able to find out what is the rift between His Excellency and his friends, and if she could be of any help to bring them together. Nevertheless, she finds herself at a beachy lake resort, where His Excellency's seductive manner towards her makes her to remember Chris telling her to keep all options open. By this, if it happens that His Excellency wants her in bed, she should agree. We become very anxious to know what her confrontation or her reaction to Chris will be. She is really angry when she gets back home. One, because Chris does not call to find out if she had returned safely back home. She wants a man who knows about her whereabouts at all times and cares about what she does, whatever she does, and with whom. Through the party at Abichi Lake, she discovers that the relationship between His Excellency and his friends, especially Ike, has broken down completely. She tells Chris to mend his relationship with Ike because they will need one another in the future. She tells him, when they get Ike, they will come next for you and me. She knows that anything that has to happen to Ike and Chris, she will be affected in one way or the other. Next, we can talk about Chris, who refuses to write a suspension letter when His Excellency asks him to do so, citing that there is no fact to the baseless accusations. We wonder what His Excellency will do. But His Excellency threatens that he has not finished with the investigation of the role played by Chris in making him not to win the referendum in Abazon, which is an indication that he might be questioned. And he tells him that this is possible and he should be prepared to collaborate. Chris' reaction is immediate. He tenders his resignation letter. The president sends the note which sacks Ike from his position as the editor-in-chief of the National Gazette, and it is read on the national television. This is a direct threat to Ike's life, and it's a realization of what Beatrice had gathered so far during the party at Abichi Lake Resort. And when Ike disappears, Chris gives a devastating interview with BBC, which puts his life in danger because he directly accuses the government of killing Ike in cold blood and refutes the allegations of him being a coup plotter. This puts his life in danger, highlighting dictatorship and conflict. It pushes him to go into hiding, and friends are ready to hide him in their boys' quarters, and he is moved from one place to another. Thanks be to God that there is an anonymous caller who constantly warns Beatrice and directs her to move Chris from one hideout to another, highlighting love. When he decides to leave Basa on recommendation of the anonymous caller, he flees to Abazon. Unfortunately, he meets his demise in the hands of a reckless policeman who wants to molest the innocent Adama. We can also talk about Ike. He's the beloved son of Kangan, and his sudden death incites suspense. How will the public react? Chris carries out a thorough investigation and finds out that Ikem had been murdered in cold blood. And this information, he leaks it out to Emmanuel Ogbete, who is the president of the student union at the University of Basa. And he prints so many documents which is handed over to students. The immediate effect is that the students engage in a strike, and the police comes in to stop it in a brutal manner, beating students, wounding some, arresting some, and molesting girls, highlighting oppression and violence. Lastly, Chris and Emmanuel are declared wanted, and both go into hiding in Basa. We wonder if they will make it out, because we are told that there are checkpoints all over. And the anonymous caller tells Beatrice that Basa is becoming dangerous and the target should be moved out of the city immediately. Beatrice herself takes the risk to go and visit her man for the last time in Bremo's room, where she spends the night, and the next morning they head towards the Great North Road to seek sanctuary in Abazon, the homeland of Ikem Osodi. And there is so much tension when they are about to arrive the Three Cowrie Bridge, where Chris is very nervous, but Bremo comes to his aid. And through his clever move, they are able to hand some kola nut to the soldier, who, of course, has been starving. And he appreciates this sign of gratitude and lets them pass. And that gives them the leeway to start their journey to Abazon, which they consider to be a pilgrimage.